Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer and today I'm gamesplaining Living Forest. So Living Forest is a 2 to 4 player game from Ludonort Games. It came out in 2021. I'm really happy about that. I've managed to get a game that has only recently come out. I really enjoyed this one. I think it's such a wonderful little game. The whole idea of it is that you have a handful of animals and you can play as many of those cards as you wish until you get this marking that comes up on your cards. If it comes up 3 times within the pile of cards that you've played, you're only allowed to do one thing. If you stop before that third one comes out, so you've only got 2 markings, then you can do 2 actions. And every card gives you some different ability to do actions. And doing those actions or being able to do those actions with larger numbers is really important. There are cards that will get rid of other pictures or other emblems. So if you've put one of these black emblems out and you end up putting out one of these emblems that it gets rid of it, then that one doesn't count. You can go for another 2. That one doesn't count. But those cards will probably have negatives on something else when they're played. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with this game to think about as you're playing, because the game finishes when you get to one of 3 possible outcomes. 12 of this thing, 12 of this thing, 12 of this thing. So as soon as you've got 12 of any of the 3 things, you've won the game. Unless a couple of you get the 12 at the same time. But you're really working towards getting 12 of something. So there's fire will come into the pit every round, and it's your job to make sure you stay on top of keeping the fire out. But whenever you put the fire out, you get that marker. As soon as you've got 12 of those markers, you've won the game. But if there's more of those markers in the fire pit than you can handle at the end of the round, then you lose some stuff. There's so much really cool stuff going on with this. You can get cards, and depending on how much stuff you have to spend tells you what cards you're going to be able to take, and those cards come into your deck to be able to be played next turn, and you can get the benefit of them straight away, and that's really cool. Then there's these tokens for different things that go into the forest, and if you've got a certain amount of stuff to be able to pick that up, you can bring them in and they will give you permanent benefits. Each of those 3 things, you get 12, you've won. And that's really the game. And I wonder if we forget that sometimes. We forget that, oh, we're working towards 12 until one of us has like 9 and suddenly goes, oh, I only need 3 more. And suddenly you start going, oh, I'm really close on a few of the different ways. I do wonder if keeping a focus and just working on getting fire could win you the game, because you don't then worry about spreading yourself through the other things. Or if you should try to spread through the other things, because they will give you a better ability to be able to get the thing that you're working on originally. There's a really nice balance within this game that actually ends up meaning you do all of the stuff. And it just happens that one of them hits 12 before the others do. It's such a good game, such a worthwhile game to play. I really strongly suggest having a look at this one. I've played this quite a few times. I think this is one of those games that is going to keep coming back to my table. The only real difference that comes up with a smaller player count game, so a 2 or 3 player game, is the number of things that are available. So in the setup, it says to remove a number of things. And that's absolutely fine. I have 0 problem with that at all. The play itself is identical between 2 and 4 players. It is actually the same play. It's just a different number of things that you're able to draw on. And simply because we don't want to be able to get 4 of these trees into our setup, because that's going to fill up the setup too quickly. We want to be limited to 2 of each of the things in a 2-player game, because that's how many players there are. There's so much going on with it to really think about and get your brain around. This is one of those games that falls into the categories that I've had going for a while now, of games that have a relatively easy rule set, but there's enough thinking in the game itself to make it a worthwhile game to play and to keep playing and to keep coming back to. And I think that because of these different cards, it changes how you play the game each time. It changes your path that you would take each time. Please go ahead and watch my Gamesplay and Gamesplanation to get a feel for how the game actually plays. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.